season here at Catone.
Okay, start again, do it again.
Okay. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Catone Field here at Wethersfield High School for the first time in 660 days. A regular season home contest is being played, well, really, a regular season contest is being played on home soil for this Wethersfield Eagles crew. They held a shutout against Platt just the other night, but now they are ready to do it all over again against another team coming off a shutout, the Redcoats of Berlin, as they charge into Wethersfield looking to take the field by storm. But can they get past what seems to be a stellar defensive unit for this Wethersfield High School team? We're about to find out here on Blue Eagle News. Stay tuned.
All the graphics we did earlier
Are they gone? Oh my. Oh, I love shutting down the whole system.
Testing. Testing.
I'm gonna play something when they come down. I'm like your power if they come down.
Yeah, but I gotta be done. You gotta turn that off in a minute anyway, because you know.
Yeah.
And then you play it. When,
Yeah, but
don't do it again.
You just let me know. I think that's planning to go down around 6:45.
No, just what are you asking about that? I just need it. Can you do me a favor though? Go down to the gate. I mean, the fence right in front of you. There's a microphone. The other side of that microphone's on the fence. The other side of the microphone is on the fence. Can you go grab it because we can't use it? It's right on the fence. I have it attached to the fence.
I don't know. Our system accidentally shut down because we got moved over.
7 o'clock, I start talking.
Okay.
Then I will do two.
You know what? Leave it there right now. It's fine. So I'm gonna try and get this
But
microphone.
I'm doing all the introductions.
Right there.
Telling people who you are, what we're doing. But once I turn it to you, you go.
Okay.
If I need to take it back, I'll just do that.
All right.
I want to say something just to keep people up to it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And it'll always be in between plays. I'll never talk over a play.
Oh, okay.
I saw the little thing I saw.
Do the mics register? Oh, okay.
Don't worry, I'm Miss Kara. I got
Tage, when you see the football team coming down, when does the football team come down? Like
I don't know. Hey, you know when the football team comes down? Like around what time? Like 15 minutes? 15 minutes before the game, they come down. They come down.
They're supposed to come down 6:50.
They come down around 6:50.
TJ Smith, Ben Coffee. Sorry. Golden Speed. Felipe Lozano. Matthias Nams.
What should I refer to you as? Just Joe Zone, Mr. Zone, Joe?
Evan.
Joe is fine? Okay. I just wanted to find out. Yeah, I've always been taught to go with Mr. and then so.
Little band house.
Still kind of new to me when people are like, just call me so-and-so.
Yeah, what's the kicker? Number 7. McNasty.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Remember, 40 to 20, I can't see anything, so I won't.
Provided by Hartford Hospital athletic trainer, Mr. Scott Applebaum. It is the hope of the high school administration, game officials, coaches, and players that the spectators will enjoy the contest in the spirit of good sportsmanship. Please note that the use of profanity and inappropriate behavior will not be tolerated at any student-centered events. We, the students, athletes, and staff of Wethersfield High School are proud of our school and want to extend a warm welcome to our guests from Berlin. Tonight we are honoring a special girl and family, Maven Lane Borgen. She was a very special girl who passed away after a brave battle against a rare pediatric brain tumor. Maven was spunky, fearless, adventurous, sweet, and compassionate.
Don't worry about it.
She was clearly loved by her friends and family and teachers, and eventually by the entire Wethersfield community and the Wethersfield High School football team. Many former Wethersfield High School football players were fortunate enough to develop a close relationship to Megan and her family. Wethersfield football will forever be connected to Megan. September is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, and we will honor Megan and all children who have endured this disease. If you would, for a moment of silence, we are dedicating this game to Megan.
Angelica, you cannot let the camera go. You're off everything.
Yeah. Thank you. No, we gotta
Thank you.
Olivia, you just want
We'd like to acknowledge Village Pizza as the special
you
game
just went right in front
sponsor.
of the camera. It was great. No, you just went right in front of the camera. Your face is right in front of the camera.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the starting lineups for today's game. For the Berlin Redcoats, number 1 on offense, number 1, Toby Lavender. Number 2, Jamie Paulette. Number 3, Lorenzo Mealy. Number 5, Tanner Sparks. Number 12, John Morales.
That's the plan.
Number 55, William Gomes. Number 58, Michael Mata. Number 72, Aiden Cody. Number 75, Marcus Johnson. And number 77, Richard Bennett. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the starting defense for your Wethersfield Eagles. Number 1, Tanner Healy. Number 2, Cooper Moreau.
33.
Number 3, Dylan Adderley. Number 5, PJ Smith.
I'll screw that up. I don't remember long enough to tell you.
Number 8, Ben Caulfield. Number 22, Holden Speed. Number 30, Felipe Lozano. Number 33, Matthias Neves.
Right now, your mic is
Number
not
44, Evan Christian. Number 98, Caleb Garcia. And number 99, Bryson Evans. The Eagles are led by head coach Matt Mittinen.
I guess. I never doubted you a minute.
Now we'll see if they are.
650. I was on.
See if they are.
Somebody tell me this.
Game
Yeah, they're putting a drill.
They need to get them on the field, right?
Because the game was canceled that way. They had extras. They
the East Hartford game.
East Hartford game got canceled again.
Why?
COVID.
COVID, yeah.
Because there's still too many kids on quarantine for East Hartford, so they have to play Monday, I guess. Because it quarantine for whatever, 14 days or something, so it carries it all the way through there.
And how many confirmed cases?
I don't know. Nobody's actually reported it.
That's frustrating. We had a couple confirmed. The other ones are asymptomatic. It's like, well, he listened to my wife. My daughter worked at and if they're working right here and you come down with COVID as a nurse, these guys still work. There's no testing if you're asymptomatic.
You're asymptomatic. You keep working. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, and I saw it. Yeah, I saw her walk by, just sitting over there. Because there's her fountain right there. The way.
Yeah, that's right. There he is.
Just saw him.
Gosh. So funny.
Where are we?
Oh,
I haven't heard anything.
on the receiving end, remember when it turned
I
red?
haven't heard anything.
It was someone else on you.
Joe's mic work? Does Joe's mic work? No. So do you just want me to try and put this between us?
Yeah. Even if you could probably look right here.
So illegal. All mics stopped working except for the one I've got. So I'm gonna put it right at the base of this one. Is that right?
I'm having the worst time with audio.
They're on their way.
Really, where are they?
No, I'm just saying.
They know it's a long walk.
Yeah, they want to.
No, it's part of the thing. Part of the thing. Part of the thing. This was patent just
They're just far away.
That'd be so funny. They're just walking down.
I don't know. That's a great question. We just saw it.
It is. It's fine.
Yeah, they were supposed to be at the gate when this song started. So they told me.
I can believe we have 7 runs. I can believe we have 7.
Oh, there goes a drum.
Yeah, be close.
You got the binoculars.
There they are. Visible at least.
Let's wait. Wait too long.
It's a day shot, everything moving, guys. We're running very soon, guys.
Okay, Mike, you there? Okay. Okay, Jimmy, you're there. Yep. Matt, can you hear me?
Matt's got his thing up. Here it comes.
Matt, you there?
No, it's back up again.
All right, Matt, you there? Okay. Chris, you there? Yeah, gotcha. You got him, Luke?
Yep, we're here.
Okay, so where you are.
It's passing right now. It's a penalty. No passing. You tell Joe that.
I think we ran for like 350 last week. Yeah, but the problem is the cramps. I think it's doing tonight. Take a look.
That is much.
Yeah.
Don't screw around with that. You better drop that man down there. Come on.
I think we're going to go on right in the middle of the national anthem.
Push up and then pull out the bottom.
Okay.
You know how you do that? But you got to slide it towards the middle. Berlin is one less and defers. Northern end zone. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you would please rise and remove your hats for the playing of our national anthem by the Wethersfield High School Marching Band.
Wethersfield High School Band has just brought you into the game of the week with the playing of the national anthem. Hello and welcome to our game of the week. It's Bourbon at Wethersfield. They won the online fan poll, and that's why we are here tonight. Kickoff is just about to start. I'm joined in the broadcast booth here at Wethersfield, and it's a tight booth. We've got the PA announcer on the right. We've got the coaches from Wethersfield on the left. We've also got the student broadcast team working up here in the booth. So it'll be interesting. I hope that you can hear the audio as I introduce our student play-by-play broadcaster, Jimmy Clark. Jimmy, take it away.
All right, thank you, Mr. Zone, and we are set for the first time in 660 days. Football, Wethersfield football more specifically, is being played on home soil as they get ready to open up tonight's game here on WFSB and on Blue Eagle News. Berlin set to kick in the white and the red. Eagles breaking out the black, white, and blue alternates for a blackout tonight. And what a start this is about to be. The kicker is set. It's number, I believe my roster might be outdated, and we're underway. Picked up by Wethersfield. Down they come. It's number 33 who's got the ball. And that would be Matthias Nieves. And as Matthias Nieves brings in the kickoff, we see this Wethersfield offensive team take to the field. And the rumors saying that might the possible starting quarterback being Will Bankowski. Of course, he ran quite a bit last year, defying some expectations. A lot of people said he was not going to be quite like the Matt Silver of 2 years past with the run and gun style play. However, the Eagles have managed to do just that. As we are set to open up tonight's game with the first drive, 11:54 into the first quarter. Here from Wethersfield, Connecticut.
First and 10 for the Eagles at their own 14-yard line.
So from the 14, Will Bankowski is indeed the starting quarterback with one in the backfield. They hand it off. Running up the gut. Not quite going to get as far as they had hoped, but a good start to tonight's game. And both teams coming off quite good games, both shutouts. And who do you think, Mr. Zone, would give up the first points of their season tonight?
Well, trying to play neutral and admitting I didn't see either one play, I'm going to just wait and see which way it goes.
Your guess is about as good as mine. I didn't even get to see Wethersfield play Platt last week. But with a 20-0 shutout in a game, a lot of players said they could have won by more if they just had been a little bit more accurate passing. And here comes that passing game. He launches it deep. He sends it to number 17. Incomplete, but a flag is down on the play. And this should be coming up against Mason Memory.
He actually had his man beat on that play. I think the ball may have been slightly underthrow. He had to wait for it, which gave a chance for the defender to come in. Defender called for pass interference.
The intended receiver back there being Louis Montalvo, the sophomore talent. Of course, with football not being played over the past year, it's been about 2 years since we last saw football in this stadium, last saw football in general.
Penalties 15 yards.
With that 15-yard penalty, it'll be a first down for Wethersfield.
I was here actually last fall when they had those 7-on-7 games where there was a skills game, and I remember Middletown and Wethersfield play here one September afternoon.
And it is Bankowski setting up with one in the backfield. I would assume TJ Smith. Here's a screen pass. Number 17 takes it. Once again, that's Louis Montalvo who gets there. In the back tonight is Jovan Hill wearing the number 10.
Pickup of 2 yards on the play, second down.
Just to give the viewers my perspective, theirs will be better than ours. Anything from about the 40-yard line to the 20 on the right here, I can't see a thing, so it's all you, man.
All right.
Mike again. Mike.
We're right here, smack dab in the center of a very crowded press box. Will Bankowski calls for a motion. That's number 19, Ethan Lemos, who's on it. And moving up is Hill, who will advance up the field.
As we talk about our broadcast, and I'll wait for our PA announcer, remember that we are a one-camera broadcast and no replays, so we're basically streaming it as an opportunity for you to see the game if you're not here tonight and just enjoy the play-by-play of our student broadcaster, Jimmy Clark.
And so Wethersfield comes out of the huddle. Bankowski standing tall, as well as Jovan Hill. Getting set. Calls for it. Snaps the ball. Pass once again to Montalvo. He's looking deep, and he overthrows him by just a few yards. And that will bring up fourth down for this Eagles crew. And this will be a 3 and out as the special teams unit will come onto the field.
That was a little stop and go. At the stop, the defender bit. He broke free, but the pass was a little bit overthrown.
It looks like number 17 is getting back to punt. This appears also to be Louis Montalvo. So I guess a punter and a receiver. A lot of two-way players on this roster. A lot of two-way players on both of the rosters, and you gotta imagine what the wear and tear is like. And the great luck that you're able to play on just Fridays. I couldn't imagine going to school after a football game playing both ways, and that one will be down around the 34.
So the Berlin defense holds up, gave up just the one first down on the penalty, and now we'll see what that offense, which scored over 30 points last week in their season opener against, which traditionally is a very good program, Middletown. I would suspect that Middletown, a lot of teams later in the year are going to be a lot better than they are these first couple of weeks of the season.
Yeah, you're still really shaking off a lot of rust from not playing over the past year, well, not playing 11 on 11, as there's the handoff, and quickly eaten up by the defensive line at the line of scrimmage. Quarterback back there is Lorenzo Miel, the junior, standing in at 6'2", 185 pounds, standing in as the field general tonight.
No gain on the play, second down.
Second down and 10. QB gets back. Play action. Oh, just gets hit. And that is number 6 out there. I believe that might have been number 8, Ben Caulfield. That was, as Ben Caulfield forces third down.
Right at the sticks, perfect contact. Ball got there, he got there same time. Great defensive play by Caulfield.
And Caulfield, I know from being a two-sport athlete as himself, playing ice hockey as well, a big defenseman on that team, and you got to think there's some transferable skills as the quarterback drops back. He runs out of the pocket, fires deep to number 2, just overthrows him, and that'll be a big stop. And this is going to be 4th and 10, and this is the first time I'm seeing this Eagles defense in a real 11-on-11 non-scrimmage situation, and I gotta say, I like what I see.
And normally the defense, you would think, would be a little bit ahead of the offenses at this time of the year because fewer things they really have to learn in terms of plays, but sooner or later you'll see somebody start to break open on the board.
Well, we've seen with this Wethersfield team over past years, hot out of the gate, but as the game gets on, the other team does start to catch up, and we'll see if that's a factor in tonight's game. And back to punt, that was number 2, Jamie Palmise. And this one should be downed inside the 30, inside the 25, at the 23.
Eagle 23-yard line.
You're listening and watching our live broadcast of the game of the week here at Wethersfield. Berlin and Wethersfield, each team has had the ball for one possession. Defenses have forced punts. And now it'll be Wethersfield taking over for their second possession of the game. And by the way, this game and a dozen more will be shown on Friday Night Football tonight at 11:15. Our big highlight show coming up tonight on Channel 3.
And it'll be Bankowski setting it up to Hill. No, wait, this looks like it's TJ Smith, and there he goes. TJ Smith, senior running back and captain of this team. I saw him 2 years ago, and I gotta say, his footwork and his work ethic are both incredible in the backfield. He can run circles around you for about 5 minutes. He could practically read the Canterbury Tales by Chaucer and still manage to pick up 5 yards.
36-yard line.
Third down, and Smith is on the run in motion. Handoff now to Hill. Hill gets a good run, and he'll take it up towards the 40.
Ron Hill, the ball carrier for the Eagles.
So first offensive series for Wethersfield, they threw the ball.
5 yards on the play.
Looks like in the
Second
second offensive series, they're going to try to establish the running game.
And if I can remember back 2 years ago, a lot of this offense was generated by the ground game. But that was when they had a guy like Matt Silver. He could run, and he could also throw the ball at the same time, but I don't think they have that same level of confidence yet in Bankowski being his first season as a varsity quarterback. And there he goes as I say it. He scrambles with it and will pick up a few yards. And this will make it third down.
Third, and it looks like just a little bit more than 2.
3 yards on the play.
Maybe 3rd and 3.
Third down.
This should be about 3rd and what I would say, yeah, that looks about 3. Offense coming back out onto the field. 2 alongside Bankowski. Snaps the ball. Hands it off to Smith. Smith, there he goes. He breaks loose. Here he goes down the field. He could go, and he's brought down. Brought down in. And TJ Smith with a breakthrough run, and he bursts through the trenches, and the Eagles are inside the red zone.
Well, I have to tell you, the coach was talking about how impressed he was with his offensive line in the first game last week, and right there they opened up a big hole.
Timeout, Berlin.
And immediately, right out of the gate, we see a timeout from the Redcoats tonight. And I do want to preface, is this game being streamed multiple different ways here on Blue Eagle News and here on WFSB, and I want to get this out there for the people that watched Blue Eagle. We had prefaced that we were going to do some guest commentators throughout the season, but I mean, I never really thought that Joe Zone would be one of them. And I never thought I would be a guest commentator on Channel 3.
Well, it's just great to work with, we work with the athletes. We've had the cheerleaders in the band, and it's just nice to be involved with young people and anyone who's got an interest in a broadcasting career. Hey, who knows? Maybe you get a start here someday and you love it, or maybe you find out you don't like it. But either way, it's a great opportunity for you to be on and for me to sit back and listen to you do it.
All right, I like that idea right there. And as the Eagles set up shop, looks like on the 21.
For the Eagles at their Berlin 21-yard line.
So as they set up shop at the 21, Bankowski sets back with Hill behind him. Snaps the ball, no run play, down to the corner of the end zone. He got it! Touchdown, Wethersfield! Like that was Ethan Lemos, I believe. It looks like that was Ethan Lemos coming up with it. Wearing the number 8, or wearing the number 19 tonight.
Number 19, Ethan Lemos.
It's interesting though, from our perspective up here, everybody is a little bit challenged as they go for the extra point here on what they can see. So everybody's asking, who got it? Who caught it? So you were all over it. Good call, Jim.
Thank you very much. And as they sail the extra point through the uprights, it is a 7-0 game, but it is far, far from over. Berlin will get their second possession, and we'll see what McKinnon and company can do to rally this defense and hold on to this 7-0 lead. And that is the first points that the Berlin Redcoats have given up all year, as they came off a big, big shutout against Middletown. Wethersfield yet to do so, but I've got a feeling that this one is going to be tight.
Well, I don't know how many times it's been said, 1 million. At every level of football, you establish the run. It opens up a lot of things. Right before that touchdown play, Berlin was beaten on a big run game up the middle by Wethersfield. So now you got to bring people up, tighten up a little bit. That opens up the passing game. Touchdown in Wethersfield.
And so as number 7, Nick Nassy, is set to kick it away. And that will go to Lorenzo Mealy and company, who are going to have to try and gain some yardage as they ended it 4th and 10 on their last drive. That's a nice kick. Sent back towards inside the 10. Picked up by Berlin. And should be stopped right around the 12, maybe the 13.
Kick by Nassy is returned to the Redcoat 13-yard line, 1st and 10.
So to the 13-yard line they will go. And Lorenzo Mealy will come back out onto the field. Berlin still looking to gain their first yards of tonight's contest. Again, stopped at 4th and 10 on that last pickup, but you got to think, down 7, that really energizes a team to put themselves back in it, especially early, as there's a snap and a big run. There goes number 1, Toby Lavender. And there he goes deep into Eagles territory to the 45.
Lavender makes his way into Eagle territory. And he brought down by number 3, Dylan Aberly.
So Dylan Aberly credited with the tackle, but Toby Lavender, the sophomore running back, quick as they'll bring it up to the 46. And a big way to gain your first down of the game. Going from the 13 to the 46. And there's the snap. Gives it off. And that is That time it's Jamie Palmise, and he'll pick up a good chunk of change and most likely make this second down and 4.
7 yards for the Redcoats. Second down.
And so this Eagles defense has been caught on the run here. We'll see if Berlin continues. They've got Palmise and Lavender in the backfield with them. Hand off to Lavender. He takes it along the side. And that should be enough, I believe, to move the chains.
Under the ball carrier.
It's 2 yards short, it looks like.
Just shy of a first down.
Hold on, are we sure that's not a first down? How that's a first down? And so they will come up about just short, and not sure if you can hear, but it is a very intense scene in the press box.
Well, that's the Berlin coaches just to the right of us. They want to get a measurement, see if they got the first down, and so the officials are going to measure.
And I can't blame them. If I was a coach and it was this close, I'd want every yard.
You are watching the Game of the Week on Channel 3, streaming it live this year every week throughout the regular football season. And the big ad, of course, is our student broadcaster. This week, Jimmy Clark from Wethersfield, who does a lot of broadcasting assignments and duties for the high school. And tonight he's stepping up, or hopefully he's stepping up. At least he's not stepping down. He's in the broadcast booth doing our Game of the Week.
And so they have ruled that it's a first down. And man, this place has turned into an electric factory real quick.
Huge crowd. They're standing up in the back and in the side and up on the hill, a big crowd.
Oh, and they're still trickling in. There's the handoff. No, it's a play action as they fake it. Oh, he drops the football. No, they're going to say it was an incomplete pass. He did not have possession for that to be a fumble.
That's the classic opportunity, the perfect chance where you watch a kid who tried to move before he had the ball, turn upfield, and he had it, but he turned a little quick before he had it and dropped it.
And patience is really a part of football, and I'm not sure that a lot of people really kind of appreciate, I guess what you could call that art of patience on the field when the adrenaline is pumping, and that really what makes great football players that much greater. And the run up for Lavender. He will gain a few yards there.
Lavender, the ball carrier for the Red
Setting up
Coats.
towards the 30. Or it looks like the
4 yards on the play.
32.
This is a solid drive by Berlin, their second offensive series of the game, trying to answer Wethersfield's touchdown on their second series of the game.
Let's see if they can do that. Coming up on a big third down play right here. Snap. Play action, but he's pressured. Fires, and it's just beautiful. On to number 5, Tanner Sparks, the senior.
Manley connects with Sparks. It picks up a Berlin first
Classic
down.
play action, fakes to the runner through the middle, freezes the linebacker a little bit, and then right behind the linebackers, he's open for the first down.
First and 10 for the Red Coats at the Eagles 21
So
yard
a
line.
solid start for both teams. Only takes them to about their second or so drive. And here's a big sack. And coming up with it, it appears that might have been number 5, TJ Smith, playing two ways. And so that'll be a big loss for Berlin, but still second down, still early on this series. He has number 3, calls for action, play action, and he's immediately almost hit, but a beautiful screenplay up to Toby Lavender. Just not going to get far enough. Pickup of about a yard.
Can you say something to the press box?
So with the pickup of about a yard on that screen play up to Toby Lavender, who really seems to be their go-to guy in tonight's game so far.
Third down and long for the Red Coats.
Getting set, snaps, drops back, throws deep. Oh, almost intercepted right through his hands on the way down. That was number 33 getting in there and breaking that up, Matthias Nieves.
Definitely into double coverage there.
Looked a little bit more like triple coverage. And the Eagles, again, Matt McKinnon was a defensive mind before he took over the head coaching job just about 2 years ago. So this is a very defensive weighted team. Here's the snap. Once again, no action. Here's number 30. Fires. It's up in the air. But nobody's there to get it. And that's Felipe Lozano on the quarterback pressure. And with that fourth down, that'll mention a changing of the guard. And that's actually going to be a turnover on downs.
So the Wethersfield defense gives up a couple of big plays, but came through on that last pass attempt, and actually the one before broke things up, and the ball's been turned over, and now they go on offense for the third time.
This defense is bent, but they haven't broken. With 3:34 to go in this first quarter, snaps the ball, handoff, up to Hill. And that is once again Jovan Hill, wearing the number 10 today. He seems to be the go-to running back here, but you can't argue with the performance that TJ Smith has put up in this first quarter either, with some of those big plays that we saw earlier, especially that breakthrough run that put the Eagles right on top of the 20-yard line, which led to the big passing play with Ethan Lemos for the first touchdown of the game. Here's the snap, taken by Bankowski. He's on the run, and he's brought down. And a sack by number 7, Jaden Seacole. So as Seacole, the senior linebacker, brings down Bankowski for third and long.
Loss of 5 yards on the play. Third down.
So the loss of 5 makes it about 3rd and 4. Or not 3rd and 4, but 4 yards beyond the sticks here. Bankowski set, pressured again, fires. He got him. That is number 19, Ethan Lemos, who came up with a touchdown, coming up with a decent gain. And this is going to make it 4th and short. We'll see if they keep the offense on the field or if it's just too risky.
Yeah, they're too deep in their own territory. Spot at 38. You don't want to turn it over there, assuming you have a guy who can punt it 15 or 20 yards past the line of scrimmage.
And it looks like they do have that guy in Louis Montalvo, number 17, as he's back to punt for the second time in 3 possessions. Eagles still hanging on to a 7-0 lead. And here it comes. And he sends a short punt, but this is just going to roll beyond the 25. Picked up most likely around the 27. And that is where Berlin will have to start again.
1st and 10 for Berlin.
So we're late in the first quarter. It's the Channel 3 High School Game of the Week. Berlin at Wethersfield right now. Wethersfield leading 7-0, 1 minute, 32 seconds left in the first quarter. And our play-by-play announcer is Jimmy Clark from Wethersfield High School. We are broadcasting from a crowded, packed broadcast booth with coaches on their left and coaches on their right. So if you hear stuff, you'll know why.
And I mean, talk about a crowded press box. This isn't only that, it's a crowded arena. Well, not an arena, but a field. And a lot of coaches have said over the past couple of years, this is one of the toughest stadiums they've played in, as the handoff gets swallowed up and nowhere to go for Toby Lavender.
One of the best places to watch a football game from here, and a lot of students do it, is down to our right on that end zone. There's a big hill down there, coincidentally, right in front of both the restrooms and the snack shack. So it's a great place to sit on the hill and watch the game, especially in mid-September.
Yeah, that southern part of the stadium is very, very popular with the student section. And here's the handoff, and once again, just nowhere seemingly to go. This time for Jamie Palmise. So it'll be 3rd and
No gain on
11.
3rd and 11.
And so as 3rd and 11 happens, we see what in your eyes, Mr. Zone, does Berlin have to adjust on to really get onto that same level of driving down the field and sweeping plays like Wethersfield had done on their second series?
Well, I think it's just a matter of these kids learning the plays, execution. They've got a good quarterback, big time thrower. He's back now.
And a deep pass, broken up by number 8, Ben Caulfield. The flag comes down as well.
We'll see what that flag is, but right now, the defensive coverage on the pass receivers is really, really good. Penalty against Berlin.
Holding call against Berlin. Penalty is declined.
So this will bring up what I believe is 4th down. And yeah, again, the passing coverage is definitely one of the highlights of this team, and that's of course once again due to the fact Matt McKinnon being a defensive coordinator. Then when Coach Campanello had left this program, he was there to take the helm, and now in his second season, his first season, brought him to the first round, lost to New Canaan on the road, but this year they're looking to do the same thing, only just get past that first round early, and there's a punt. Oh goodness. And this is going to be a fantastic position for Wethersfield.
Pay for that. Mike, this is going to be the last play.
Basically, that was a 6-yard net gain punt.
Wow.
You know, that's a tough thing, and you notice if you look at the successful programs, they have kids who can punt, they have kids who can kick extra points, and they have kids who can make field goals, and that's a big difference in high school football.
It makes just about all the difference here in high school football, and Wethersfield, of course, is, I guess you could say, blessed to have a guy like Nick Nassi and Louis Montalvo, guys that can make those. As TJ Smith on the run, handoff to Jovan Hill. Hill tries to run it up the gut, gets brought back. First quarter comes to an end. We're through at the first stanza of tonight's game of the week, and I'm so glad to be a part of it. 7-0 Eagles lead. End of one chapter of this 4-chapter story. We've still got a long way to go, but the Eagles certainly looking dominant early.
It's interesting you mentioned Coach Campanello leaving the program. He may have left the program, but he hasn't left the program. He's been at every game since.
Oh, yeah.
I saw him tonight. I was going out to the parking lot to retrieve something. He was on his way in. I've seen him at every game I've been to at Wethersfield since he's retired.
And I mean, that's also ringing true because I think 9 times out of 10, at least last year, I saw Campanello at, basketball games, gym class. I mean, he's just in the school, and he's all around sort of a positive kind of energy in the school for just about everyone. I don't think there's, ever anything involving Campanello other than a great involvement for Campanello.
Well, when you have teachers with that kind of commitment who've run a long time, they're just a part of the community. They're a part of the school community, and they like coming back and just watching these kids who they saw as freshmen and sophomores, and watching them grow up before their very eyes. So when the coach leaves, sometimes he never really leaves.
And so now, setting up on second down. Handoff to TJ Smith. Smith is swallowed whole by that defensive line out there, and Berlin with a great defensive effort to make the stop.
He doesn't even...
Berlin's brought a nice crowd in. If you look across the field from our camera, you can see the visitor section over there, and they've got a couple of hundred in there.
Yeah, and I mean, I just can't explain how much I love seeing these crowds come back to high school sports, because I think high school football is a better atmosphere than college football, because almost everybody that's in these games, or everybody that's in these games knows you. And you don't really get that personal feel at college as Bankowski sends it downfield towards Louis Montalvo for a first.
Montalvo picks up an Eagle first down.
Nicely done that time. Bankowski waited waited, moved around the pocket a little bit, waited until his receiver got open, and dumped off a short little pass for a big first down on another drive.
Berlin 19-yard line.
And I remember seeing in the scrimmages that I played at this stadium a lot of flea flickers and other types of screen plays as well were able to torch up some of these defenses, and I think the Eagles have taken that kind of play style and ran with it in these first 2 weeks, and so far it's paying off in dividends. Bankowski set. He's got two next to him. No running this time. He throws once again. He's got a man. Touchdown. Eagles get it again. This time it's Louis Montalvo.
Number 17, Louis Montalvo for an Eagle touchdown.
And Wethersfield High School will extend this lead that they've got brewing to 13 points. And as they send on Nick Nassy for the extra point attempt, we'll see which fan in that southern part of the field will come down with the ball. Chances are it's going to be someone down there. I mean, if you're looking at the same part of the field I'm looking at, it is packed in like sardines. The kick is on the way, and it sails through the uprights.
Nick Nassy is good.
And it will roll down the hill and back towards the field. 14-0 Eagles, 10:38 to go in the first half.
10 minutes and 38 seconds to go in the first half. It's Wethersfield 14, Berlin 0.
Again, Bankowski, what a sweet touch. Just dropped it in over the defender, a nice soft pass, and Montalvo right there grabs it in. Another touchdown for Wethersfield.
Yeah, and Wethersfield's very lucky for this quarterback to really have just such a nice arc on those passes. It's not often you find a guy who can deliver quite like Bankowski has.
You know, the big thing that the coaches talked about losing last season, they've got sophomores now who lost their junior year, and in high school football, that junior year, according to the coaches I talked to, is the most important year for growth and development. So your seniors now, last time they played football, they were sophomores.
And here's the kick from Nassy, and that is a great point that you bring up there. As number 12 takes it downfield, that is John Morales. And you mean, you can't really stress that kind of fact enough, that these guys lost an entire season and are still putting on a great game on the field to watch.
What that tells us
For the Red Coats at their own 35-yard line.
is 3, 4, 5. You get to those later games in the year when these kids have played for a while together and they have their game legs on. I think the football all around the state, for the teams that are really good, is going to be even better.
You said it. As Berlin sets up for another drive here. It still remains Lorenzo Mealy, and the quarterback keeps it. Does not get too far. Should be a pickup of maybe 3, possibly 4 if he's lucky.
This is an important answer time right now for Berlin. They don't need to throw up a big play, but they need to put together a drive, put together 8, 9, 10 plays, and try to finish it off with a touchdown. They've got to put together a little something on offense to keep that Wethersfield offense off the field.
Yeah, and we'll see. And I think that's also to try and keep that Berlin defense off the field and give them as much of a rest as they can possibly get, because this is a tough game, and it looks like we're going to see a penalty for what I believe is offsides.
Encroachment, right? Offsides. It used to be called offsides. Now it's the big word is encroachment.
Oh boy. High school football is really moving up there in the world, getting them big words in.
2nd and 2 for the Red Coats.
So that is a big gain for Berlin right there, and an even bigger gash to the Wethersfield defense. Berlin sets up. Nobody in the backfield. It's a quarterback keeper. They run a wildcat. There he goes. And he breaks a few tackles before being taken down. Toby Lavender running the wildcat play.
His second burst was really, really good. They grabbed him, slowed him a little bit, but he got into the hole, and it looks like he had almost put it into his second gear where he picked up another 6-7 yards.
And this guy, Toby Lavender, is really a guy this defense is going to have to watch out for, because I can see him later on in this game really getting breakthrough play after breakthrough play and really getting this defense to bend a little bit more and get a little bit closer to breaking. Redcoats are set. Snap. Again, Lavender to keep it. And it works again. And he tries to get past a beautiful stiff arm there, but I think they might say that might be a face mask. I saw him grab a little bit of the helmet there.
They're going to call it on the ball.
Flag on the play.
Come on. It's not Toby. God damn it.
It looks like they're going to call, believe it or not, offensive penalty on the ball carrier for grabbing the face mask of the defense. Berlin coaches certainly think that's the call and not happy with it. That's the call. That is such a big call in this football game. That negates a 25-yard gain and then knocks it back. Wow.
15 from the end of the run.
Although still a first down, that's got to be a kind of, I guess what you could say, a backbreaker. It just takes the wind right out of your sails, and you got to cut down on some of those mental errors. You can't just reach up and grab at the helmet or the horse collar, really.
It's one thing another thing that coaches talked about earlier in the year. These kids are just learning how to do stuff again, and penalties they all worried about would be factors in these early season games.
And so they're going to say this is, I believe, first and short that they're going to bring up.
We played it down, so it'll be first and 2 yards for Berlin.
First and 2 yards, and somebody moved out there, and that should be false start.
False start call.
Yep, false start on Berlin, and that'll be back-to-back penalties on this Redcoats club.
It's a 5-yard penalty.
Well, I just mentioned it. I mean, you've seen it all over sports. You've seen it in college football. You've seen it in the NFL. These early season games are they're a challenge just to everybody to get technique down. I mean, you lose a whole season, it's really hard.
And you really got to commend the coaching staff for some of the things that they've done to get these teams in fighting shape. And look at the run coming out by number 2. Look at the footwork, the juke. There he goes. He's still going. And number 2 with a big breakout run, Jamie Palmise, the senior running back,
First down for Berlin.
gets a big first down for the Redcoats. And that is just the jolt that they needed after those 2 flags.
First and 10 at the Eagle 24-yard line.
Trips right. Trips right.
Yeah, that is exactly what Berlin needed. And we'll see if they can bounce with that momentum into the end zone and make it a 6-point game. And look at Toby Lavender.
He was able to avoid that first sack, but not the next line.
No. But I mean, that's what's good about this defensive line. They're able to put pressure on the ball carrier early, and if he manages to break through, it's going to be rare that you see him break through that second line of defense. Number 5 coming out of the field, Tanner Sparks. I'll work off into the corner. Looks like Jamie Palmise, and this should be a Wildcat. Palmise and Lavender both in the back. Gives it to Palmise, who is swallowed whole by that defensive line for Wethersfield.
Palmise picks up 3 yards on the play, third down.
It looks to me like Berlin has figured out that they may not be quite as successful throwing the ball, but they may be able to run the ball a little bit better. And we've seen that in those first couple of drives where the Wethersfield defense on pass plays was really good in coverage. So Berlin in this drive is just trying to run the ball down the field.
And that is a great, great game plan by the Redcoats so far. And it really does kind of exploit some of the weaknesses this Eagles team does have. And we'll see if they continue to do so. Toby Lavender hands it off to Paul Meese. Paul Meese breaks through, first down. And that should be right around the 10, maybe inside.
Again, Paul Meese stopped in the backfield, breaks that tackle, makes another cut to the outside, and gets another big gainer. Officials timeout.
So we'll see a timeout here, and I guess the closest thing I could relate to is a media timeout that I've seen in basketball, and I don't think this I've really seen before.
I think they're, listening to the Berlin coaches, they're calling it a water break timeout.
So with this one, Eagles with a sturdy 14-0 lead here in the second quarter, about 6:22 left in the first half. And Berlin is really driving deep into Eagle territory, and they're just getting ever so close to the end zone as they're already inside the red zone. We'll see if they can finally break through and break this scoreless part of the game so far, or if the Eagles defense is going to stand tall and hold a shutout.
Very interesting, though, the call of the water break. I think if that's what that is, and the officials call that, and you're Berlin and you're on the move, maybe you don't want to stop your momentum. And if you're Wethersfield and you get a free timeout like that, and you get a chance to regroup. Interesting. I'm not positive of what the rule is there on a water break timeout.
Yeah, me neither, but I'd say I wouldn't be happy if I was Berlin, and a solid stop made back there as they bring down Toby Lavender. And it's almost like they've forgotten Lorenzo Mealy out there, and they're really just sticking with these Wildcat plays because that's how successful they are against Wethersfield.
Well, you remember when this drive started, I said the one thing they had to do was put together a 7, 8, 9 play drive, give their defense a chance to press. Didn't even necessarily have to finish four, but now they're in a really good place to finish this one off.
Lavender's going to snap it here. And he's going to try and run, but nowhere to go as Felipe Lozano comes in on top of him.
That's a hard play for a high school quarterback. Rolling to your left and trying to throw that ball on the move to the left. A lot of quarterbacks in high school can't make that play. I think that was a run design the whole way.
And out comes, once again, Lorenzo Mealy, the quarterback. He'll make his way back out onto the field, and we'll see where they go from here on a third down and, well, longer than they had hoped. Third down, and I would say around 12, maybe 13. Snaps the ball. Mealy throws as he's hit. Does he have it? No, incomplete. Broken up by Matthias Nieves.
Mealy just didn't have time. He had a guy open, but the Wethersfield rush forced that play, forced him to throw it quicker than he wanted to.
And that is solid defensive work by McKinnon and co.
They're going to go for a field goal try here, get some points on the board.
Can't blame him. It's a smart decision, especially with halftime approaching as soon as it is. It's like number 1, Toby Lavender out to set up. No, this looks like it would be 81. There is no 81 on this roster.
Wow, that's a lot of foot.
Just missed.
He missed it right, but I'll tell you what, not because he doesn't have the distance. That was a 32-yard attempt, and it was at least 15 yards past the uprights.
And that was a solid kick attempt, but just off to the side. And this crowd is energized.
Well, again, let's go back to what we said. Let's see if Berlin can put together a big drive. They did. It stalled. Now, the answer is their defense. They've got to try to get out of this half down just the 2 scores.
Yeah, if this lead goes any further, I think it might be a little bit much too big of a hole to dig out of in just 2 more quarters. Bankowski is setting up. Hill to the side. Snaps the ball. He's rushed. Hit as he throws. It's up in the air, and it is way overthrown. That had to be about 10 yards over the head of Louis Montalvo.
I don't know what the design was on that play, except just run because the ball was so overthrown. And he was pretty well covered too, so the chances of completion on that play, I think, were pretty slim.
Well, this offensive line really allowed the pressure to get to the quarterback quite soon. And what I did here is the good average for an offensive line is to give your quarterback 3, maybe 4 seconds to look for an open man. This team has done all that and maybe a little bit more if you want to think about it. And there's a quick throw. And at number 19, that is Ethan Lemos, and there he goes. Lemos to the 50, to the 40. He's pushed out just ahead, right around to what I would say is the 43, maybe the 44. This will be at the 45-yard line. Ethan Lemos coming up with another big play. He got that touchdown in the first quarter, and he's so far had a good start to tonight's game and a good start to his varsity campaign. As here's the snap. Dropping back is Bankowski. He's pressured, and he's hit hard. Number 7 and number 50, Jaden Sequel and Jake Camacho get to him.
Very interesting, too, how Berlin was playing defense. They are playing their guy right up on Montalvo on the line of scrimmage. It looks like the strategy is to just try to hold him up a little bit. Look at how he plays him right up on the line of scrimmage. Number 12 for Berlin, John Morales. Look at, now he's back a little bit this time. He's off about a yard.
Runner in motion, snaps the ball. Bankowski, nowhere to go. I'm sorry to interrupt you back there with as that play got underway, but just nowhere for Bankowski to go. Loses a yard.
So this is a key.
Screen.
Hey, look, hey, Joe, inside back there, watch out. That tunnel screen.
Watch bubble and go.
Watch the double!
Berlin coaches want him to watch the double. There's the blitz, picked up. Somebody's going to be open.
Okay!
Bankowski, he's running right into a defender.
What a great job on defense by Berlin that time. They sent the blitz, and Wethersfield did a really good job of picking up the blitz, but nobody was open back there. Great job in the secondary on defense by Berlin. But then to get the ball back with a chance to put together one drive and maybe to score before the half ends.
And it was an even better job by Jonathan DeMore to pick up on that the quarterback was completely exposed and run in right after him. That is textbook defensive style play, especially for DeMore as a linebacker, a senior linebacker standing in at 6'1".
He's down! Let's go!
All right, so the Berlin coach is cheering because in high school football, when the knee is down, when you have the ball, play is dead right there. He picked the ball, touched the knee before he punted, and that's where the ball will be. Berlin's ball right there at the good field position. What a big turnaround that is.
Yeah, this is prime real estate for these guys to make their big run and cut this game down to a 1 score.
2 minutes and 15 seconds left in the first half. You're watching the game of the week here in Wethersfield. Play-by-play man Jimmy Clark.
Getting set is Mealy. Drops back. A little pressure coming, but a deep throw is... just not enough on it. Solid pass coverage. And this goes back to what you were saying earlier in the game, is that this passing coverage for Wethersfield is, I guess you could say, almost unbeatable so far. They've looked practically invincible.
Their secondary, their safeties, their cornerbacks have played very well on the long passes.
And so as we are set once again Second down and 10. Quarterback still on the field, but he's got Toby Lavender to the side of him, and I have to imagine they give the ball to Lavender. That is exactly what they do when they take it up the gut. Just do not get as many yards as they thought, but still a decently sized gain, most likely around 4.
It's a manageable third down and 6.
Minute 49.
Minute 45 to go in this first half. And so glad to be joining you here on WFSB on Blue Eagle News. I just have to say that this really is a bucket list item, so this is a true honor.
Well, that's kind of you to say.
And here's the pressure on him, not going to get to him. They let the quarterback stay up. Oh! Taken away right there. Looks to be 33, Matthias Nieves, who is there again, as well as number 8 and Ben Caulfield, both of them getting onto the passing play. Shocking how number 88, though, I believe, or that might have been 98, Caleb Garcia, got onto the quarterback, but they really kind of hesitate and seem to not go after the quarterback right as he was about to make the throw.
And he made a good play to get away and get that ball off and get it to a place where it couldn't be picked off.
Solid defensive coverage opportunity. And we'll see with now 2 in the backfield with the quarterback, 1 on the run. It's taken by Lavender. He's got number 12 wide open. They're not going to go for the screen. They're going to keep it. And Lavender, he had John Morales wide open. No pass, though. I have to imagine that Lavender thought he could have made the first down by himself, knowing the past performance of tonight's game so far.
He lost yardage on that play, and now the decision is to go for it on 4th down, or do you punt? There's only a minute 14 left in the quarter. It looks like they're going to punt and just try to get out of this down 2 scores.
It's actually Wethersfield. Oh wait, Wethersfield got on the ball like it was theirs. It is Wethersfield ball. We were wrong.
We lost it down.
Here's Bankowski. Does he have it? No, just out of the hands on the way down. And that looked like it was number 19 in Ethan Lemos. And Lemos and Montalvo have really been a two-headed monster to accompany that of Will Bankowski. And even then TJ Smith, to the rarity that we've seen him in this game.
There is a lot going on here in the press box, and while we were switching microphones off, trying to get things settled down, and we lost it down. We apologize for that. No harm done. It's Wethersfield trying to put up one more score with a minute left here in the first half. They already lead 14-0.
Looks like Smith and Hill in the backfield, as well as it looks like Bankowski, and he may have one more back there. Here's the snap. Hand off to Hill. Hill's got protection. And he will break off for a solid gain for 3rd down. Should be around, let's see here, 6-yard gain, I would say.
3rd down.
Actually, should be 3rd and 3.
3rd and 4 for the Eagles.
Looking forward to a little halftime show. I talked to the Wethersfield cheerleaders, and they said they'll have a routine which we will bring you live during our halftime. When the announcers take a break, we leave the camera hot, and whatever happens out there happens.
Exactly. Again, I like that idea. Yellen is, I got one water bottle left. And here comes TJ Smith with the ball. And Smith is going to be short of, I believe, the line of scrimmage.
Berlin will call a timeout. They want to get the ball back.
It looks like Smith is on the ground down there. This is not good. And with that timeout, I guess, now might be... Actually, I've lost my train of thought completely back there, so I'm going to apologize.
Well, there's 52 seconds left. A big 3rd down play, but right now we're seeing it looks like he's going to be able to get up. I saw them wave off the trainer there.
And our trainer actually down there, Scott Applebaum, really one of the I guess you could say he's well liked by the student body. I believe we had a game the other night that we were streaming here on Blue Eagle. Scott Applebaum came down onto the field, and the fans started chanting "Applebaum, Applebaum." So I mean, I guess you could say he's well liked among the student body.
Well, he's a guy who can get you out of a lot of problems when you're not feeling well.
So way back is Montalvo, and they are going to punt with 52.3 left on the clock. Whistle blows.
Timeout Berlin.
Timeout Berlin. And that'll be another one here.
Which is interesting because they may want to have used that for a final drive here with only 51 seconds left in the first half. 14-0. This is the live stream of our game of the week. This week, the voters picked Berlin at Wethersfield. Considerable margin, more than 50% of the vote. The second runner-up for our game of the week was the game at Naugatuck between Torrington and Naugatuck. And then the third game, ironically, or interestingly enough, was East Hartford at New Britain. That game postponed tonight because of a COVID problem. So that's something we're going to have to pay attention to all year long. It's not over, folks. And it's going to impact some of these games. And the hope is that nobody has to forfeit games, but that they can postpone them and play a full schedule.
Well, I like the guidelines with the vaccination status. That has made a huge difference in how people thought this season was going to go coming into week 1 and now into week 2. A lot of ideas were very wrong, and I think personally the season is turning out a lot better than expected.
Well, we're 2 weeks in, and we've already lost a couple of games every week where somebody's had to had to postpone it. We just hope for the best, hope the protocols work, and that we get to the state playoffs in the second week of December.
5 yards.
And I cannot wait to eventually see Wethersfield in that state final game, wherever it may be. Most likely New Britain. There's the punt. Picked up by Palmise. Palmise is on a run. He's on his horse back there. And he will be stopped in Eagles territory.
Well, 40 seconds, and they've got to go 40 yards for a touchdown. And, on an efficient offense, that's a lot. The second week of a high school football season, that's asking a lot.
It is, and we'll see if they can do it. We've seen some stranger occurrences happen at the high school football level.
Okay, looks like 1, 2, 3.
We'll see if Berlin has it to break what is currently a scoreless effort for them so far, although that does mean their effort has been quite valiant, as there's the throw, nearly intercepted by T.J. Smith, the captain. Second down and 10. And I gotta commend Berlin's effort on this game thus far. It's 14-0, still very manageable and coming up constantly in prime positions to make a deep play. There's a snap. Fires. All right through the hands of Toby Lavender.
Well, he had to throw it a little quicker than he wanted to. And I think that accounted for why that pass went incomplete. This guy was open, but it was a half second faster than he wanted to throw it.
And that really stresses the impact of, it's not really a one superstar sport. You can have a superstar quarterback, but the offensive line has to be just as good. And we'll see what Mealy has up the sleeve as the junior 6'2 quarterback stands in on 3rd and 10. Drops back and fires. He's got a man. That's Toby Lavender. Wide open. Big gain for the Redcoats, and a timeout is quickly going to be called for the Redcoats there. Big play for Berlin on that last series.
24 seconds left. That's a huge third down play. And now it's manageable. They've going time 24 4 seconds. They're probably going to throw the ball. I believe they burned their last timeout.
19-yard line.
I believe that should be. I think they got 2 back-to-back on the last offensive series for Wethersfield, and I've just used 1 here with this big position inside, just inside the 20, what I guess you could call the 19 or the 19 and a half if you want to get super technical.
And I want to remind our viewers that at halftime, I see the Wethersfield band coming out, so you'll get to see a nice little halftime show between the cheerleaders and the Wethersfield band. It'll be halftime here in just a couple of moments. We'll keep the camera up live, and you can enjoy the halftime show just like the fans here at Catone Stadium are.
I gotta say, you guys are gonna love the Pride of Wethersfield Eagles marching band when they come on at halftime. They've done some really spectacular stuff in the time I've been here. Here's the snap. Play action. He's pressured. Fires quick. Nearly intercepted. This time by Cooper Moreau, one of the 4 captains for this club. Him, Jeremy Gilbert, TJ Smith, and Holden Speed have been the leaders.
Yeah, big all-out blitz there. And it looked almost like Berlin may have gotten away with a hold.
Berlin picking up the big play with 19 seconds flat left in this half, and they've got to come up with something big on 2nd and 10.
That's right.
We'll see if they can do it. We've seen them do it before. Will they do it again? Here's the snap. Pressure. Big sack. Laid on by number 22, Holden Speed. A huge hit.
They've been coming.
Come on, the clock should have been off.
And here's the throw. Put him through the spin cycle.
Should be 0-0.
What a big hit later.
I know, I just told them. That's ridiculous. 10 seconds. 10 seconds.
And that will mark the end of a very intense first half. Eagles managed to hang on by just about the skin of their teeth to this 14-0 lead by keeping him just outside the end zone. A solid defensive stop on the goal line. And we'll see as Berlin inches ever so closer to breaking the scoreless total they've had. We'll see in just a few moments.
A little chaos there at the end, some clock management issues, not necessarily by the teams, but just a little confusion on when to start it, when not to start it. And by the way, protocols this year for high school football, the road teams are not using the home team's lockers. So we're going to see all these teams, the home team will go into their locker room, but the road teams, they don't get to use locker room space. They're going to pick a corner of the field and go over there in second half game time.
Well, we will get you prepped for the halftime show coming up. The dance team, the cheerleaders, and the Pride of Wethersfield Eagles marching band. And I believe this year's show theme has something to do with space. So if anybody likes David Bowie out there, they might be impressed.
Well, if anybody could use some space, it would be us up here in the press box. So Jimmy Clark is going to take a break. We're going to leave the camera hot, let you enjoy halftime, cheerleaders, and the band from Wethersfield. This is the game of the week. We're streaming it live on the Channel 3 app. I'm glad you're with us. I'm Joe Zone. We'll be back for the start of the third quarter. Right now, it's Wethersfield 14, Berlin nothing.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention to midfield, the Wethersfield High School cheerleaders.
they do something facing that direction to the fans. Okay.
What's going on with my mics? I wish I knew.
Okay. It's gonna be like 10 seconds. Okay. I know nothing. To the bleacher. Nice back.
How's it going?
Thank you.
You're awesome.
If they had scored here, 10 seconds ran by me.
Did you see yourself on TV that night?
No, I never did.
You gotta be kidding.
Yeah, he stopped me. You know what's
No, I looked for it and I never saw it.
It was on 11 o'clock.
I had people come up to me and they're like, hey. And I'm like, what?
I used to play football on a Sunday. I go, you guys were playing Ricky in 3 weeks.
Yeah, I know. I told you.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's the Wethersfield High School dance team. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the field your pride of Wethersfield Eagle Marching Band! Tonight, the Eagle Marching Band will perform part of their 2021 competition production, Drive. After the past year, many of us have faced so many struggles. Through the pandemic, families, the marching band would like to thank all of our essential workers who have put in so much time over the past year to keep all of us moving forward. As we design the show Drive, we would like all of you to think about what moves you
You're not
forward.
allergic to peanut butter, are you?
How do we persist?
No, sir.
How do we find the grit to move forward when so much is in our path? How do we persevere moving forward to find that light? Our show features original music written by Randall D. Standridge, show designed by Michael Bowles, band is under the direction of drum majors Bailey Cox, Megan Litka, and Abby Montez. Without further ado, the 2021 Eagle Marching Band would like to present Drive and ask you, what drives you?
Are you kidding me? And then it took me like 5 seconds to start it. Always got it done. I haven't really done anything. That would have been nice.
Turning to the field, as you can hear from our PA announcer, who does all of the games here during the football season. He's also here for field hockey and a lot of other games, but not all of the games. I take that back because Jimmy Clark was out here yesterday doing the PA for field hockey and earlier today for soccer. So the PA duties get split up. Merlin over on the left side, warming up, trying to figure out a way to get on the scoreboard, get back into this football game. It's been 6 quarters of football for Wethersfield this season, and they've yet to give up a point. And Merlin, who threw a shutout in the first game of the season, has given up 2 touchdowns here, as we are 1 game and a half through 2021, the high school football season in Connecticut. I'm Joe Zone. I'm just sort of the caretaker of this event, as Jimmy Clark has returned. He's got his pizza, he got his water. He got a, what did you get there? A peanut butter? What was that?
I did have peanut butter cups before here.
Yeah, what was that? A Reese's? Not sorry.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, we'd like to thank Village Pizza of Old Wethersfield for their sponsoring of today's game.
Doesn't matter, they'll never put them on his head anyways.
And with Wethersfield kicking to open up the second half, we're going to see what can Berlin do. Sorry, knowing that they were practically on the doorstep, 1 foot in the door to the end zone in the latter half of the second quarter. And what more do they need to do to break through in this second half?
I think what they're trying to figure out is if they can get anything going with their passing game. There's no question that Wethersfield's secondary, those players, those kids back there, the quarterbacks, the safety, the rest of the linebackers, it's been very difficult for Wethersfield to throw anything down the field. I'm sorry, for Corbin to throw anything down the field. And I think they're going to try to see if they can get something like that done here to start this third quarter. Of course, only down 2 scores, they can still run their way into the end zone a couple of times.
They definitely can, and we know they have the capability, as this one is kicked away, picked up by number 33. That's Luke Magooter.
Moving on the return for the Redcoats.
And so a solid return for the Redcoats, and thus begins the second half of our story tonight. The game of the week here on WFSB and on Blue Eagle News if you're watching us here on YouTube. First production since, or first football production since just about last year. Well, not even last year, 2 years ago. And here's a throw by number, that would be Mealy.
Short game again. So they open up with a pass. I talked about that. They want to try to get it going. It's a 4-yard play. They make short passes like that. They bring the defensive guys up a little bit. Maybe we can get one over the top. Maybe.
And that pass was right to John Morales, the sophomore wide receiver. And we'll see with Mealy. Handoff. And a solid hit laid on, but that's Jamie Palmis, gaining a few yards and should make it 3rd and 1.
So, opening drive, 3rd and 2, very manageable. Can't tell you how important it is to not have a 3 and out here.
Berlin just needs 1 more yard, and they're going to run for it, and they're going to get it as he dives through. That was Lorenzo Mealy with a QB keep on that play, right up the gut.
They've definitely had most of their success on offense with that kid running the ball.
So we'll see what the Eagles' defensive squad can do against first debut of these black alternate jerseys for the Eagles. I got to say, I'm a fan.
Especially when you can read the numbers. They're beautiful. White numbers there.
And here's a play and a nice stop. Laid on by number 99, being Bryson Evans with a tackle. And I believe that was number 30. Or no, that was Mealy who ran the ball. Another QB keeper. Second down and 10. Still early going of this second half. Mealy set, 2 in the backfield, snaps the ball. Handoff, nearly stumbles with the ball, but still getting away. Breaking a tackle, breaking 2 tackles, only being stopped by the boundaries of the field. It's Jamie Palmise.
This is a really, really good running game. And there's no question that this is where they've had their success. Can't go deep, but they can throw short passes. And they can run the football.
And Berlin's bread and butter tonight has been running, or more so those wildcat kind of plays. And Palmise, or no, that is Mealy, who fires it just through the hands of Tanner Sparks.
That ball sailed. It was a little bit high and not a lot of zip on it, and it just kind of, fortunately, not picked off as far as Berlin is concerned. Fortunate for them. That ball stayed in the air for a long time.
Yeah, it just seemed to float over the receiver. We'll see what Mealy can do on 2nd and 10. Berlin slowly but surely pushing their way down the field. Here's a handoff. He's going to break through. Nobody's got him. Oh, the ball comes loose. It's a fumble. Picked up by Berlin, and they will catapult themselves up the field by way of fumble.
You didn't set the tone. You came upfield.
I can't say I've ever seen that before. Have you?
Well, I've seen it. I don't know if that far, but I don't know if the rule is different because in the pros you can't fumble the ball forward. You can retain possession of it, but the ball would go back to where it was originally fumbled.
First down for Berlin.
So as Berlin gets the ball here from right around that 13-yard line, getting set. Here's a snap, handoff, and that is once again Palmise, who is having to the second half.
Now, this is a really good, solid, smash-mouth football opening drive.
6 yards on the play.
It is a fantastic start for the Redcoats here. This Eagles defensive unit has been on their heels here on the start of the quarter. Mealy will take it, but this looks like it's going to be a run. 1 in motion. Hands off again to Palmise.
Are you kidding?
He's going to break through.
Touchdown!
For a touchdown. And Jamie Palmise draws first blood for the Redcoats. And for the first time this season, it takes just about, say, around 6 quarters and some change for the Eagles to give up their first points of the season. And this turns into a 1-score game.
Well, that was a kid who was so big on the drive and the determination he showed. He dragged 3 guys into the end zone with him.
No.
Getting set for the point after. Here it comes. It's up. Oh, and he missed it. Misses the extra point. And it is 14-6 here in the third.
8 minutes and 7 seconds to go in the third quarter.
Give it back!
It can kick it far, but so far not quite able to get it through the uprights. Remember, he missed a field goal. I think it was about a 32-yarder late in the first half, and now he's just missed this extra point.
Well, the 32-yarder, that's a tall task for just about anyone, let alone a high schooler. But I mean, not to take away from him, but that was just about as close as a chip shot as you can get.
Well, he had the distance. He's got the leg. Right now, it's just a matter of straightening those kicks out, because he's definitely got lots of leg.
We'll see if he can corral that for later in the season, if not later in the game, because with a drive like that, they are definitely going to be the end zone more than once in this half.
Well, whatever they talked about at halftime, they did exactly what they needed to do: come out, put together a drive, and score with their first touch.
So there's a kickoff. That's going to be short.
Get there!
Eagles can't pick it up, and they do get to it. That is number 33, Matthias Nieves, who gets to it first. downed just inside, just about inside the 20, I would say.
And the viewers who might just be joining us, just let you know that yes, we are in the press box. Coaching staffs on both sides of this. Right now, the Berlin coaching staff is a little more vocal than the Wethersfield coaching staff. And they're coaching their kids on, getting plays down on the field, and they have a pretty good view of what's going on up here.
Wethersfield takes to the field for their first drive of the second half. Bankowski calls for Smith in motion, hands off to Hill. And that was Jovan Hill with another run.
Ball carrier for the Eagles.
We'll see where the Eagles can go on a second and just about 9.
Pick up over a yard on the play. Second down.
Getting the call from the coaches. Set Smith and Hill the sides of him. He's ready to go. Snaps the ball. Hand off to TJ Smith. Smith takes off. He breaks through and he powered through about 3 guys before being dragged down by an additional 2 behind him.
Smith, the ball carrier.
Key third down play, 3rd and 2 for Wethersfield on their first series of the second half.
7 yards on the play, 3rd down.
And Wethersfield up by 8, still a relatively comfortable lead in a football game. But then again, I would like to see Wethersfield see if they can expand it, and they look like they're going to try and call for a false start. They're not going to get as such, and Bankowski moves forward a little bit. A little bit of head games going on maybe by this Eagles football team. Here's a snap this time. It's a keeper. Tries to power through for those 2 yards.
And they ran right over the spot where the linebacker vacated and was going to
the ball, picks up an Eagle first down.
So Will Bankowski with a quick run picks up just a little bit more yardage and gives a bit more life to this Eagles offensive unit. There's a snap. And the run goes into a wall practically.
Second and 10.
It's a second and 10.
Second down.
TJ Smith comes off the field and Matthias Nieves comes on. TJ Smith, he was hit hard earlier in that game, possibly an injury concern that they're, keeping him a bit more conserved to the sidelines. But then again, he's a phenomenal runner, and I'd have to say, you might want to take that risk. But then again, early in the season, Bankowski sets, sacked. Looks like it was number. So I'd have to see number 17, Jake Smalley.
Double coverage on the outside of Louis Montalvo. He looked at him, he was double covered, and that's when he had to make a decision. And didn't have any time to get rid of that ball after Montalvo was covered up, and he was looking at him.
Well, Montalvo's been the go-to guy so far, so it makes sense that you're going to double, maybe even triple this guy. It's if you remember Connor Pace of 2 years back, teams would double and triple him as here's a deep shot. Going to Matthias. He's got it. What a catch. Matthias Nieves breathes life again into the offense, and this drive is going to continue.
Red Coat territory and an Eagle first down.
That was pretty good coverage, but a really good pass and a great catch.
Will Bankowski seems to have all the connections going tonight to make this offense work. Drops back, tries a quick pass, he gets it down to Ethan Lemos, and Lemos will pick up a nice chunky yard.
So the difference in these two offenses, Berlin is all about running the ball. They've had all their success on the ground. And Wethersfield is having most of their success throwing the ball. And they're able to connect on some of those deep passes that Berlin has not been able to connect.
And I think it's a nice duality to add to this game, and it's giving both teams an opportunity to work on both sides of those defensive schemes. One in motion, snaps the ball, QB keeper. Bankowski pushes through, should be able to have enough for a first, if not maybe a yard short.
He's going to be just a yard short in one.
So third
down, yep.
3rd and 1. Sorry about that.
Nope, that's never have to apologize. We got a lot of voices and a lot of things going on up here, so you just keep it going.
3rd and short for this Eagles crew. McKinnon and company done a solid job so far, holding an 8-point lead. And it's the Eagles who are just marching their way down the field. Hill in the back, snaps the ball. It's another QB keeper. Bankowski pressured early this time.
Looks like he got the first down. I'm looking at the ball mark. And they are, yep, first down.
Jonathan Demore with a quick tackle, some quick thinking, but just not quick enough to get that stop.
And the clock keeps ticking. This quarter is moving right along. We're coming down to the 3-minute mark of the 3rd quarter, and each team's only had the ball once.
Yeah, this is a much different ball game, or at least a much different paced ball game than that first half, where we saw teams get 2-3 possessions in on that first quarter alone. Snaps the ball. Oh, he drops the snap.
All right.
And it goes right through his hands.
See, that's a smart kid, though. You see what he didn't do? He didn't try to pick it up.
He covers the fumble.
More times than not, when a kid does that, it gets kicked around, you don't get it, you lose it.
Also 10 yards on the play.
He got on the ground, he just
Second down.
Retained possession.
You do raise a good point. That is a very smart play on behalf of Will Bankowski.
Hey, watch, double move!
We'll see the play calling being delivered here as the team takes to the field for 2nd and long. Snap. And he drops it again! Bankowski falls on it once more.
So this is a very ineffective series with the ball on the ground twice now by the quarterback.
And you gotta wonder, maybe he's not got gloves on, so maybe hands are a little slicker. Maybe those snaps are coming in a bit too hot to handle. But otherwise, these Eagles need to get that issue fixed, and fixed very soon if they want to keep this lead.
3rd down and 24.
3rd and 24 for the Eagles. So this has obviously got to be a passing situation, and he drops back under pressure, fires on a screen, good blocking, he keeps moving, and a solid move by Louis Montalvo, typically finding himself in double if not triple coverage and carving some yards for himself.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, the Berlin coaching staff up here said this was, watch out for the screen. They called it, that was a screen pass, and Berlin was all over it.
And again, the Eagles very effective on these screen passes from at least what I have seen through scrimmages and the early part of this game. That's something you're really going to have to look out for if you're playing this team down the line. There's a snap on 4th and long. Fires. 33. Shoved over. Intercepted. Picked off. Here comes Berlin down the sideline. Racing for it. Trying to even this game up. And a flag is down. A flag is down on the play. And we'll see what this is all about. Big jolt of energy for Berlin, but the flag comes down. We'll see what it's about.
It will not take the possession away, though. That's going to be Berlin's football, but it's going to be way back here.
Interception by Berlin. There is a flag on the play.
Teams are coming back. The flag was dropped at the 45-yard line.
Roughing the passer?
They're going to say roughing the passer on Berlin.
15 from the 45, right at the 30-yard line, middle.
Berlin's football on the 46, 45, somewhere in there.
Those guys shouldn't have moved.
And that is a big gap. Once again.
It will remain Berlin ball.
Exactly.
15 yards from the spot of the
That was bad.
Big cut to that Berlin burst of energy down the sideline, maybe down to the 25, even the 20 at best, and has been dropped back to just about their own 34.
We're down to just 20 seconds left in the third quarter, so this third quarter has really moved along.
Yeah, I don't know what happened, but this pace just all of a sudden quickened up.
Hey, you're on the left hash, Max. You want to move around.
And hopefully, personally, I'm a fan of certain games being dragged out, and I would personally hope the fourth quarter be more that pace of the fifth, or not the fifth, the first or the second.
Well, for somebody who's got to get back to the TV station and put together a 15-minute sportscast, I'm rooting for rah, fast.
I feel you 100% right there.
I'm all for a running clock at this point.
First and 10.
Plus, with this crowd, it's going to be tough getting out to that parking lot from here.
Oh, yeah.
The Channel 3 helicopter is not ready to bring me over yet.
There's a snap, quick screen, off to number 2, that's Paul Meese. And he's brought down. Jamie Paul Meese, not quite able to gain as many yards as he hoped, and that should be no gain on the play, meaning 2nd and 10.
That's the
I know they're going to lose.
Yeah.
3 yards.
That's the quarter.
Loss of 3 yards on the play.
Some of you are watching our game of the week. Wethersfield in Berlin, here in Wethersfield on a big night with a big crowd.
14, Berlin 6.
And in case you missed it, after 3 quarters, it's Wethersfield 14, Berlin 6, and we'll see just how important missing that extra point will be, because what that means now is that Berlin's going to have to score twice, a touchdown and go for the 2-point try. Assuming nothing else happened in this game, they're going to have to get 2 scores.
And this is a tough hill to climb, but then again, anything can happen under the lights here in the Nutmeg State, and it really kind of emphasizes some chaos about the high school football scene in Connecticut.
Well, if you think about that third quarter, Berlin had the ball for 1 long drive and then 1 play. So that was it. They took advantage of their offensive series, put together a long drive, finished it off with a touchdown. And Wethersfield had it for 1 series and got nothing.
Yeah, and they had some glaring issues on that one series that they did have with the quarterback, Will Bankowski, just dropping the snap inexplicably almost. 2nd and 13 for Berlin. They put 1 in motion, snap, handoff. This one set up to Paul Meese, and he'll get maybe 1 yard on that play.
What a great one-on-one tackle there by Evan Christian. I mean, he just stood his ground.
44, Evan Christian. Pick up of 2 yards on the play, 3rd down.
So 2 yards gained, but still a long way to go. Looks like 3rd and maybe 11.
Yeah, 1-2 over here. Looks like 23.
This has got to be. Well, actually, you can't guarantee that it's a passing play the way this run game has worked. But here comes the air game. Throw. Got it. Big catch. Fantastic catch out there by number 1, Toby Lavender.
Toby Lavender.
Again, the quarterback got some time, waited for his receiver to find a little bit of movement in that zone.
36 yards on him.
He just floated that right up there.
That's a big 3rd down play. 3rd and 11, and they get that. And the game where they're behind by 8, that's a big time play.
And this might be a completely different ball game right now, as there's the handoff. Brought down behind the line by, I believe, number 99. That's Bryson Evans once again.
Well, Wethersfield is guessing run all the way on that play. They stacked the line and made a big defensive play for a loss.
Well, can you really blame them for guessing run consistently the way that this offense has moved all night long?
Yeah, I mean, unless it's a big 3rd down play like the one before where they've got to throw. Berlin's made all of their big plays, most of them on the ground.
See if that trend continues. Just about 10 minutes left to play. Mealy on the run. Flag comes down, ball in the air along the sideline. We'll see what the flag is.
Incomplete. There's a flag on the play.
Looks like it's going to be a hold on Berlin. That's a huge
Holding call against
penalty. They were already looking at 13 yards for a first down. Now they're going to throw another 10 on that.
Wow. And this drive went incredibly optimistic to right now you're looking from the bottom of a hole looking up on this drive. But then again, you got about 10 minutes and some change left to go. A few quick defensive turnarounds and we're right back in this ball game.
You got two.
They got
second and 27.
They got to get a big chunk and a big chunk. You're not going to try to get it all at once.
Second and 27 for Berlin. Here's the snap. Dropping back, number 2 is right on him. Almost had him. Almost an interception.
Again, the rush by Cooper Moreau, the captain of this team. One of the captains. He forced the pass quickly. There's no way that it's awful hard to make a play when you're on the run.
And it looked a little bit like maybe it was Dylan Aberley who got in there and almost forced the pick, but it was just too low to the ground, and on the dive he couldn't exactly come up with some good working room here.
What they want to do here is get some of this back, punt it away, and let their defense get the ball back for them.
And they're going to have to really rely on that defensive strength. Here comes the pressure. Big hit on the QB as he throws. Big hit on the receiver as he tries to come down.
And he was open for about a half a second. By the time the ball got there, there were 3 players from Wethersfield all around him, knocking that one down.
And again, that emphasizes the strength of this secondary for the Wethersfield team.
Now, we've seen the punting game so far for Berlin. If ever they needed a kid to kick one, it's right now.
We're just going to have to sit and wait.
10 minutes left, 8-point game. Wethersfield, when they get this ball, all they're going to want to do is...
All right, that's good. Get there.
It's a solid arcing. Drops it! And Berlin gets on top of it! Berlin is right back in business!
Please.
Fumble on the play recovered by Berlin.
Ethan Lemos, that's a big play.
High pressure scenario, and Berlin comes away with the ball. Just a slight mental error on Wethersfield's part. Just gave the ball right back to him.
That's a really tough punt to field. You're running forward. He was back a little bit. He's coming forward. He's coming full speed. And he got a little bit beyond the ball and put it on the ground.
We'll see what Berlin can do. They hand it off to Paul Meese.
There was no edge.
Well, usually when you get that, it's an illegal block to the back, something like that.
Face mask.
Calling face mask.
And that is exactly what the Eagles didn't need. If you remember back, Berlin had the same situation happen to them. And that drive, I believe, eventually turned into that first quarter scoring drive with the pass to Lemos.
So they're calling a face mask on that play against Wethersfield.
Flag on the play. Face mask called against the Eagles.
Move the sticks.
No, don't run the clock. It's not set. They have something to change that.
He started the clock.
9.5 and counting. Whistle blows. See what this is all about.
Right or wrong, I go with it.
Yeah, no, you have to.
Looks like the refs are going to consult with each other here. And Berlin is set again. First and 10 from around that 15-yard line.
Cut it up.
I believe there went, that was number 12 on that one. That was John Morales.
Ball carrier for the Redcoats.
Berlin down by 8. I think a touchdown and a 2-point conversion would be a big lift for this ball club.
Okay, so you can switch on camera 2.
They've clearly dominated the second half. The third quarter drive for a touchdown, make the stop on D, get the ball back here on a turnover.
Here's a snap, held on to by Lavender. He's brought down quick, and it's like I brought up earlier on in that game, early on in this game, after the touchdown was made by Wethersfield, this team is hot out of the gate, but as the game goes on, a lot of their opponents seem to catch up to them.
Well, second game in, don't forget, this was a hot night tonight too when we started. They had a water break out there. I think we just got two good football teams banging heads right now.
You got that right. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else tonight. Here's a snap. Play action.
Got him.
Fires to the end zone. Wide open. Touchdown. Berlin. And that should be Jake Smalley, number 17, who comes up with a touchdown. And the Redcoats, just like you said, dominating this second half, and two back-to-back quick touchdowns.
That's a breakdown in defensive coverage, one of the few we've seen in the passing game tonight. But he was so open. It's possible that I may have been able to get the ball to him from up here in the press box. That's how open he was.
Wow. Just what a great run by this offensive squad. And here we are. They are going for two. Most important 2-point conversion I think either of these teams have seen all year. Incomplete. Eagles stop it from going through. Looks like that was Tanner Healy, number 1.
Wethersfield 14.
A cornerback.
All right. The game of the week here on Channel 3 with our student broadcaster, Jimmy Clark. We've got 8 minutes left. It's a 14-12 game. I just want to alert my crew back at the television studio. Don't expect me back anytime soon because I don't see this crowd leaving here too early. And it's going to be a tough. And the funny thing is the TV station's 10 minutes from here.
If you've ever seen Wethersfield football, this is a loyal crowd through and through. The Eagles could be down by 40. I don't think a single seat would be empty. And I've seen it before when we played Daniel Hand 2 years ago. So we'll see what Berlin can do on this kick.
Yes, move it over here.
And this is a very, very important kick return for Wethersfield. That last punt return that they had spelled disaster. And now this kick return is going to have to do something amazing to keep them in this 2-point lead. Here it comes. The action is back. And this one's going to go to the 30. Picked up by Wethersfield. And it breaks away. Here he comes. Down to the 20. To the 20. 15-10. Touchdown Eagles. Hot dog. The Wethersfield Eagles are right back in control firmly with a statement.
On the return, number 33, Matthias
Nieves takes it to the house. And coming off that last punt return and looking at the way it was going on the kick return, I didn't expect much out of that, but Nieves scoops it up and he turns on the Jets.
You talk about not expecting much out of it. That was so close to being a free ball where it looked like Berlin might even jump on it and take possession. It got the perfect hop to Nieves and down the sideline he went. Wow, what a play.
That was some incendiary speed coming out of Matthias Nieves down the sideline. Here's the point after. Sinks it. 12 game with just under 8 minutes left.
Now the numbers don't work well for Berlin because not only do they need a touchdown and a 2-point try, they need one more score after that.
They do, and this is really becoming a dire situation for the Redcoats to try and keep into a 2-0 season. For two teams that were flaunting defenses coming into this game, these guys have really put up still even a show on offense.
That was an exciting play to watch. It was funny again, we're so close to the Berlin coaches. They thought for sure that was going to be a free kick, maybe jumped on by them, and it went so fast the other way. Wow, what a play.
That is a solid return for the Eagles, and now maybe Berlin could do the same if Lady Luck is on their side, and boy, what a series this quarter would be.
By Eagles,
Here comes the kick, and it's back on its way to the Redcoats. They pick it up, no problem. Working over. They might have some blockers. And number 33 being Luke Magooter, brought down. And just not what they were looking for in the kick return. Still a decent position up inside that 40-yard line, right up by midfield. We'll see what they can turn this into.
First and 10 for the Redcoats at their own 38-yard line.
I stand corrected, at the 38-yard line, not inside the 40. I had assumed it was around the 41. Starting from that 38-yard line. Here it comes. Throw on the way. Solid catch brought in by Toby Lavender. So Lavender brings it down towards about 2nd and 2 for the Redcoats tonight. And the Redcoats, as we've seen in the second half, are really bringing forth that offensive power. And here's a throw under pressure. Oh, way overthrown, intercepted by Nieves. And he continues forward, and Matthias Nieves is turning into a walking highlight reel.
What a big play, and that was just a bad throw the whole time. Again, we've talked about how good Wethersfield secondaries played all night. The one broken play when they scored the touchdown over the middle, Berlin got that one, but most of the night, their secondary has played phenomenally.
Yeah, and this secondary, again, you can't emphasize enough how on their A game they have been tonight. And that is another play that just sort of proves that fact.
So the game plan now for Wethersfield, you would think, would be run some more, get some first downs, run the clock, and go get some pizza.
Oh, definitely. You're trying to chew the clock and then head down to Village at the end of tonight. I did hear allegedly the plan was for some of the Wethersfield football players is there's a handoff. I'm not going to go anywhere quick, but I did hear the alleged game plan was in case of victory, the Eagles players still in their jerseys are going to attend the Berlin Fair this evening.
Oh, that'd be fun. I hope they're going to have an escort.
I hope so too. I know for a fact that I'm not going, if that's the case. But
especially at 11 o'clock at night.
Oh, definitely. I got to get home and watch Friday Night Frenzy.
I got to get back just to get it on the air. Our producer Mark Fidzikowski working hard right now with those highlights.
And we are so glad that he is on this broadcast, and I'm so glad to be a part of the broadcast in general, as there's a sack being put together by Berlin.
You see the difference, though, when the defense knows that you're probably not going to throw the ball. They can stack up and they can shut down a pretty good run. Now it's a really tough third down situation.
3rd and 13 for the Eagles.
Yeah, 3rd and 13, not where they wanted to be at the start of this drive, and we're going to see where this takes the Eagles. Trying to work some third down magic, still hanging on to a 21-12 lead, about 5.5 left to go in the 4th. Here's the snap. snap. Dropping back is Bankowski. Fires short. Picked up by number 19. That is Ethan Lemos.
They're going to have to punt with 5.5 minutes left to go. Remember, Berlin needs a touchdown and a 2-point try and something else, or a touchdown and a field goal to tie.
Yeah, 10 points is what it's going to take. Actually, it's just about a 9-point game.
Yeah,
so
9 points, and it's hard to get 9 unless you can get a touchdown and a field goal, and we have seen some kicking game issues tonight.
Yeah, I would definitely plan on using the punting game to your advantage if I was Berlin. That one's sent. Berlin picks it up. Number 2's got it. What a spin move. Oh, and he's just taken down on the side there. Looks like that was number 3, Dylan Aberley, who just got a piece of him on the dive, and he almost completely whiffed him.
We've got a flag down on the other side of the field. It's going to be against Berlin, and they're going to start deep in their own territory.
This is certainly not where Berlin wanted to start this comeback tonight. But we'll see how it plays out. In the words of Dodgeball, it's a bold strategy. We'll see if it pays off for him. Starting at a decent position at least. Right around that. Oh, never mind.
Like I said, they're going back. They're going the wrong way for a team that needs 2 scores.
Should be around the 37. For an illegal block in the back.
How about the 27?
Ah, that is correct.
Yeah, I mean, they got to get to the 37. They got a lot to do. Yeah, watch this defense.
Here comes, and a helmet comes off somewhere, and we're going to see a flag.
They got it. No, they got a hold.
And we'll see what happens as number 3 heads off to the sideline as his helmet popped off him.
Doing a really good job anyway. It's hard to get.
Penalty comes down. We're still looking to see what this is all about.
Yeah, that's a whole thing.
Wethersfield's played a solid game, and as this fourth quarter, it kind of slows to a crawl. 4:40 to go. Holding against Berlin, and this is going to bring them back even further.
Yep. They're going the wrong way. There's no doubt about it. But, they're trying to make plays now that maybe they're not accustomed to making. They're trying to move a little bit quicker. They're trying to get more guys open, maybe. So, they're going the wrong way.
And I can definitely see an adjustment of game plans causing some confusion here. And it looks like they're going to send off number 3, being Lorenzo Mealy. And they bring on 2 more players. And Tanner Healy piping up the crowd on the field. First and very long for these Redcoats. And man, you gotta love this Wethersfield crowd, always in it.
I've never been disappointed.
Is the clock running or not?
You said no. You didn't start. It was an incomplete pass.
4:40. Here's a snap, dropping back. Looking to pass. He's gonna keep it. And that is Toby Lavender. Hit along the shoulder.
Pick up of 5 yards on the play. Second down.
I think Wethersfield would be happy to give up a lot of those little 5-yard plays.
Oh, definitely. Especially in a situation like this. Those are not going to kill you. See what they can do, though. And the pressure is on. Throws to a wide open number 5. And he's going to break away almost to the 45. Big first down. That is Tanner Sparks. Continually finding himself wide open. And the athletic trainer coming on briefly. And he's going to stutter step and backtrack his way towards the sideline. And very lucky that we did not need Scott Applebaum on the play.
Officials timeout.
Timeout again for a water break. Again, never seen it. Reminds me though of basketball season. Remember this past season, the kids played with masks, and so they had a mask break right around the 4-minute mark of every quarter, just so the kids could take them off, get a breath without those masks on. Reminds me a little bit of that. I don't ever remember water breaks in a game.
Yeah, I gotta say, this is very reminiscent of that winter season. I did a public address and some commentary for almost every basketball game and almost every hockey game we had here at the high school. It was just the most bizarre thing to bring up, that they were going for a mask break and we were gonna take about 60 to 90 seconds of everyone to just get some air in for a little bit.
Yeah, if you guys can help just like take out the plugs and pull the stuff back into the...
What a big first down for Berlin. I mean, they're playing it right to the end. 4 minutes left.
And here's the snap. Oh, and a big pressure. Flag comes down, though. That might be on Dylan Aberley of the Wethersfield Eagles.
Personal foul. Roughing the pass. Wow, that's a huge flag.
He dove right at the legs right there and just got a piece of him, but for roughing the passer, that is going to cost the Eagles. But it's very late in this game, and you got to wonder, is it more so a slash or maybe a little bit more of a paper cut?
Disconnect.
Well, I know one thing. The head coach is not too happy. Still having a discussion with the head referee.
He tackled him.
And so the coaching staff in the booth voicing a little dismay or displeasure at the call. And that's really just kind of a part of high school football. 3:50 to go, snap, going by Mealy. Oh, gets hit this time. Oh, another flag.
Incomplete, there is a flag on the play.
Let's see what this is all about.
Waiting to hear what the officials have to say. They go over it. Of course, we don't have the public, we don't have that public address announcer microphone on the officials here, so we never know what they're saying.
Just have to judge from the signals, and it will be against Wethersfield.
Wow, look at this drive. They had that one big pass play. A pass interference. They've gone from inside their own 15, and now they're all the way down to the 20-yard line.
And these guys have driven the dagger deep into Eagles territory real late in this game. There's still time. Oh yeah, there's still time. Here comes number 32, hits him again. Up in the air! Oh! Just shy of the end zone, but a big play as Jamie Palmise comes up with a big first down for the Redcoats. And this is going to be first and goal very short.
First and goal for the Redcoats.
1, 2.
This right here is crunch time for Wethersfield. Snaps the ball. It's going to be a QB keeper. He's going to be in.
There we go. Nice job, guys.
And that is Lorenzo Mealy into the end zone for a touchdown, and Berlin has all of a sudden made this about a 3-point game. So the Redcoats looks like... I can't imagine they'd be going for the extra point here.
Well,
looks like they will be.
They can, because it gets them. Safety gets them back of the game. Field goal wins it. Getting 2, they still have to score again anyway. Nope.
Oh my goodness. 0 for 3 tonight for the kicker. And I believe if that would be... I'm trying to think about who the kicker would be. I believe it would be Almedin Silijkovic. Listed as number 18 on the roster here. And he might have been wearing 81 the entire time.
21, 18, Berlin trying to make a comeback. Wethersfield leads it. 3 minutes, 27 seconds left.
All these guys have to do is chew up that precious clock time, and the Eagles will be 2-0 on the start of the season, facing Bristol Central and Windsor over the next 2 weeks.
And it was a fluke, too.
Well, nobody wants to play Windsor in week 4 because if they start slow, those kids get coached up pretty fast. They're always formidable, Windsor.
And lucky for us, that Windsor game is going to be home, so you can catch that on Blue Eagle News. And this is just such a big boost for everything about Wethersfield High School being featured here on Channel 3. And I can't stress enough how much of an honor this is to have Game of the Week here on Catone on these storied grounds.
Well, you guys stepped up with the vote, and it's always about the vote.
Got to say, about 58% of you out there are Rhodes Scholars voting this Game of the Week. Here comes the kick. It's squibbed down along to the 40. It'll go right out of bounds, directly at the 40-yard line.
Ball kicked out of bounds.
Well, it's pretty simple. Now, the last time that Wethersfield tried to run the clock down, they ended up having to punt the ball. So,
Keep in mind.
a lot of time left. 3:27. Berlin has their timeouts. So, Wethersfield needs a couple of first downs, and the game's over.
No, we're not kicking.
Yeah, giving Berlin the ball back at any point in the next minute or so, that's like giving Tom Brady a calendar year to hit the end zone. You're just asking for trouble at that point.
He doesn't need that much.
No, he does not. The Eagles are stacked up, ready for the series.
45-yard line.
From the 45, Bankowski takes it and slides to keep this clock moving.
Wait.
Looks like Berlin waiting on some of those timeouts.
They're going to use all.
Go run here again.
They're going to use all the clock
3 yards on the play.
between plays.
Oh, absolutely.
Coming inside 3 minutes now.
This is really coming down to the wire again, only 21-18. It's been a close game, and the Eagles almost seemed like they had it, and a couple mental mistakes, and letting these guys dominate the second half of this game has really proved to backfire. Berlin, of course, a very dominant second half, but is it enough after Matthias Nieves took it to the house on a kick return? Will Bankowski calls for the snap, hands it off to TJ Smith. Smith runs it up the gut. He's stopped about a yard after the line of
Now they're
scrimmage.
going to call timeout.
Smith picks up a yard on the play.
And you know,
They use one, they get a third down, they stop them here.
Timeout, Redcoat.
They'll still have 2.5 minutes. 2.5 minutes to come down the field, and they're going to have to score a touchdown, though. There's nothing anywhere that says they can kick a field goal and tie it from any place on the field.
yeah. You know, I like to assume there are certain aspects of the pros that you get to see at the high school level, and I think this is one of them. We're about to get set for a nice half hour of 2.5 minutes left of football.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Oh, man.
That's just what I need, a half hour.
I mean, I think I got to be here tomorrow morning. I haven't gotten the okay if I'm doing PA for JV tomorrow morning, but I do know I got to go to New Haven at night for CCSU hockey, so.
You are all in, Jimmy Clark.
Oh, yeah. Good buddy of mine, a lot of Wethersfield alum on that CCSU team, and should be a fun season to call. And speaking of Wethersfield, here they come on third down, a critical play. They've got Jovan Hill in the back. He keeps it. He's going to get hit. Oh!
You see what he did, though? He did not run out of bounds. He made sure that Berlin used the timeout.
They made sure they burned a timeout. You're absolutely right there. And that is a good strategy. You're coming up on fourth down. The other team's got one timeout left. If I'm Coach McKinnon, I'm throwing everything in the kitchen sink defensively at these guys to finish the game.
Well, depending on where this punt goes, will determine this defensive strategy for the last 2 minutes of the game, because you know that Berlin, they have to throw it because they can't run it. They have no timeouts to stop the clock. So you get a big completion or you get a stoppage of the clock as an incomplete.
Or you do exactly what they did the last drive and really capitalize on those mental mistakes. Grab a few big penalties, get one big play in there, and you're down into the red zone. There's a lot of ways Berlin could strike on this next drive. We're going to see if they can do any, but it all comes down to the punt of Louis Montalvo. And it's a high, booming punt. Fair catch. ruled around the 24.
Sorry.
Or actually, no, this is ruled about the 19.
2:19.
2 minutes, 19 seconds left. 21-18, Wethersfield. It's been mostly Berlin in the second half, except for that big kickoff return.
Berlin has been running their A game through the majority of this contest, or at least the majority of the second half of this contest, and have got 2 minutes and 19 seconds to prove the better team and try and win this game, and they certainly have the potential. Here comes a passing play, but number 99 all over him. He throws it, catch is made, he's down. Was he out of bounds?
Nope, stop the clock for the first down.
Big passing play, and I believe that came out of the hands of Lorenzo Mealy. And that connection came to Paul Meese. Jamie Paul Meese has been a threat all night. The senior running back. Really, you could list whatever job he... The better question is, what job hasn't he done tonight? He's been an all-round threat tonight against this Eagles team.
Yep, they're keeping that clock running. He can knock it out of bounds. That's why they're lining up so quickly.
So 11 is the time on the clock. It's stopped.
There goes the clock.
Here we go. And this crowd is in it. Here it comes with the snap. Pressure. Does he have him? He does. Bryson Evans, his second sack of the evening.
There goes the last timeout for Berlin right there.
That is a big play for Wethersfield. Bryson Evans has really come out of nowhere tonight wearing the number 99. He's a junior on this team. Unbelievable.
That's the last timeout. And now it's going to take one big play or 4 big plays.
Yeah, it is all about clock management right now.
It might actually be more about the yardage here, Jim. They got a long way to go.
They do, starting out of right around about the, I'd have to give it the 23 yard line. This is a long, long way to go, but can it be done in 2 minutes and 2 seconds? That's a question we're going to find out.
77 yards, you know that Wethersfield is going to play all their backs deep, nothing over the top, nothing behind them. There will not be a pass completed behind them on the Wethersfield side. I can almost guarantee you that.
Yeah, this secondary is going to have to be all over everything tonight, especially on this last drive, what could be the last drive of the game, but we've seen a very quick change of hands over the entire game, and with Berlin without any timeouts, if the ball does change hands, the game might be over. Here we go. It's getting loud in Catone once again, and immediately racing after him, number 2 gets there. Big catch. He breaks through. He keeps going. Can they stop him? Big play. Paul Meese still won't go down, and he goes down finally in the Eagles 45, and the clock is going to continue to tick away out of timeouts.
After he gets ball marked after the first down, the clock goes. How it goes.
There we go.
God, unbelievable. Why'd you stop the clock?
We're kind of wasting it down there, guys.
First down, you got to stop it.
And so, this has really gotten to quite an intense scene. A lot on the line here in this still early season matchup. See if anything can really get done with 1:45 to go if you want to get exact.
We've got a lot of time. They made up a lot of, like I said, it's got to be a lot of plays like that. 2 more like that, and it's a touchdown.
We'll just have to see what this brings. Here we go. Loud again. And a flag. It's going to be on Berlin, I think. Looks like that's going to be full start for Redcoats. That is a huge penalty.
Penalty remains second down.
Second down here for the Redcoats. After the loss of 5, 2nd and 15. Mealy gets set and is sacked by Cooper Moreau. And this crowd is nearly deafening.
The clock doesn't stop now. It runs on that play. We're down to 1:30.
This clock, like sand in the hourglass, slowly slipping away. There we go. There's a snap. Fires. Intercepted! Intercepted! Intercepted by TJ Smith! That is ball game! Intercepted TJ Smith in the clutch! That's gotta be the nail in the proverbial coffin.
Well, it's clearly they're just going to take the knee here now. Game's over.
Great job, everyone.
Berlin coaches are walking out of the press box, so they know it's over. And clearly, with a minute 12 left, it's just a matter of days.
Wow, and this has got to be every offensive coordinator's dream play when the quarterback drops back to take the knee. The victory formation for Will Bankowski. He'll get his second varsity win of the season here.
And just like last week, Jimmy, as soon as this clock hits zeros, I'm saying good night, and I'm rolling out of here. We're going to be off the air.
All right, that's fair.
Great job tonight as our student play-by-play broadcaster. We had a blast with you on the play-by-play. The more you work, the less I have to. I love this.
Thank you so much. I mean, I can't express how much really it was of an honor. I grew up watching Channel 3, so I got to say this was a real honor to get to meet you, let alone do a game with you.
That's it.
The final knee of tonight's game.
All right, they're all off the field. I hope you've enjoyed it. Our game of the week, it was a beauty. Final score, Wethersfield 21, Berlin 18. That's game. We'll see you next week.
At the end of the game, it's Wethersfield 21, Berlin 18.
And so here on Blue Eagle News, as I take the BEN camera, or not the camera, but the mic, Joe Zone leaving the building. Of course, he's got to attend to duties of filming the Friday Night Frenzy. And of course, we had a blast with you here on the stream. Eagles win it 21-18. They improved to 2-0 on the season. What a phenomenal game this was. My name is Jimmy Clark, the voice of the Eagles. For Joe Zone, Miss Coco, Olivia Deezus, and so many others who helped this come true tonight, we thank you so much for joining us. Join us again as soon as you can, as soon as that broadcast schedule comes back. We'll be back with some more sports. And from the bottom of my heart, thank you for watching tonight's game. We'll see you for the next football game as they take on Windsor on October 1st, week 4, and it'll be much more intense, much higher stakes. We thank you so much for watching. Good night, everybody. So long.